Hi there, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of My Two Cents with me, Dino. Hope you're all good. This is going to be a 2-in-1 in regards to Arsenal's last two games. I purposefully done this just to see how they would react, how they would respond to the game in the Champions League last week. I just want to see if they're going to bounce back. So I purposely just left it until I was ready to do both together, just to give you an idea of what I was doing, because I was going to do it last week and go into a rant, but I thought no, let me give them a chance because I'm going to go into the Porto game in a minute. But before I get into it, yeah, you can watch me on my YouTube channel if you're watching me, and you can also listen to me as well on the podcast, which is Away Days. So I'm gonna get right into it. This is a My Two Cents episode involving Arsenal Football Club. Obviously, as we know, the Atlanta Falcons are on their off season now, so I'm not going to be speaking about them probably until the draft, which will be in May. So this is going to be about Arsenal for the time being, as I've said before. So just going to get straight into it. Last week we played Porto in the Champions League round of 16. Wasn't the best of games, which I think all of us can hopefully admit. Very frustrating game, very frustrating, very dry, very drag, very. If you had to bring food into it, it'd be very bland, flavorless, just tasteless, and basically every negative you can think of, it'd just be that. It was a very flat game, which we didn't really create well. We didn't have a shot on target. I've got the stats in front of me. 7 shots and none of them were on target. And Porto had 2 on target from 8, with less possession. We went down by a goal to nil. With a goal scored in time added on. I think it's like a minute before the 5th minute of 6 minutes added on, that they scored. And it was a good goal as well. Actually, to be fair, it was quite a long range shot from what I saw of it. And we just weren't at that game. We just weren't with it, and which is a disappointment when you consider how we've been in the last few games. Hence why I'm gonna go into part 2 of this in a moment. But it was like I said, it was very dry. We had the most of possession. We had the possession. We did try to get into it, but like I said to a couple of people, Porto had a game plan, and I think if Porto came out and played how they normally play in their league, I think they would have been playing off the park, and I think we would have beaten them. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but whenever we got any form of momentum, Porto players went down to soft tackles or soft challenges. It's part of the game plan. And from those you have to pick yourself up. That being said, going into the second leg of this game, Arsenal, we have to be wary that they're going to do this again, but they're going to do it twice as much. They're going to do all they can to waste time waste, frustrate us. We're going to be at home, so they're really going to be on it when it comes to doing that. So the key in the second leg will be to score early, and I think if we can score within the first 10-15 minutes, I think the floodgates will open. I think we'll get a few goals. I think we're more than capable of coming back and eradicating that 1-goal deficit, especially when they didn't really do much in the game themselves. But still 1-0, and they've got something to hold on to. So it's going to be a hard game. It's not going to be a walk in. I don't think it's going to be a complete walk in the park, but it's going to be a game that we have to be very mindful of going into the second leg. But that's not for another few weeks. So we've got Still got a couple of games and everything to go into, but you know, it is what it is. You know, you get those type of games where you've had a good run, especially in your domestic league, and then you're going to Europe or you're going to a cup game, and then things start going a bit drab. You know, and that's what happened in this one. Going to the starting lineup. If I go down to it, it's basically like another false nine. There's a 4-3-3, but for me, it's like a false nine formation, which I've been playing the last 3 weeks, where we have been a lot more creative with it. Um, you know, David Ray was in goal, Saliba, Gabriel in the middle, Ben White and Kiro on the flanks, with Odegaard, Declan Rice, and Havertz in the midfield, with Marcelino and Saka on the right and left wing respectively, and Trossard in that central role. Normally, I mean, and since he's been put in that role, Trossard's really done well. He's really been effective. He's scored quite a few goals in the last few games. He's on a little bit of a purple patch right now, and I really do rate Trossard as well. But even before he came to us, when he was at Brighton, he was just a problem, and you know he's come to us now, and he's doing the business. So yeah, I'm really happy for Trossard. But in this game, yeah, he struggled a bit. I mean, like all of us, like the whole team did, they all struggled. Couldn't get the momentum going, and it played into Porto's hands at the end of the day. Um, there's not more I can say. We just went with it that day. It was a bad game. It was a bad game. But sometimes you need those type of bad games because it's like a reality check to go into it. So you know, like I said, the one thing that's in our favour is the fact that the second leg is at home. You know, we're more than capable, as we've all seen, we're more than capable of scoring a good few goals now, especially right now. There is a fact which I'm going to bring up in part two of this, um, which no other team has done in the Premiership, involving halves of football being played. So, I feel we're more than capable of coming back. We're more than capable of getting a result in the second leg. But until then, we still got a few games to play. Until then, one of them, which I'm going to bring up now which is now part two of my 2 cents, which is the game that was played over the weekend. And this is the reason why I wanted to have it as a thing, as a 2-in-1 thing, because I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to see how the team was going to respond before I did anything. That, and plus I did take my mum to go and watch One Love Bob Marley, so I didn't really have time to do it straight away after the game. So I thought, let me leave it for the week to do it. And considering that we're not playing again until next Monday, it's giving me a bit of time. So this is now part two. At the Emirates Stadium on Saturday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. It was against Newcastle United, and you could say it was like a normal service was resumed with what happened in this game. This was an unbelievable game. I think that the boys came out again, fast paced, aggressive, took charge, and they just completely like dominated the game. Um, by winning 4 goals to 1. So that's the response which I was looking for. Hence the reason why I said I was waiting to see how they were going to respond after the Porto game, and they came out flying. Goals were scored. Well, the first goal was an own goal by Sven Botman, and then there was further goals by Kai Havertz, Saka, and Jacob Kiwior, with the old Haaland boy, Joe Willock, getting a consolation for Newcastle, of all people. But yeah, it was a convincing, it was a very, very dominating display, very professional display, very, very much a response to what happened over the earlier in the week against Porto. And the boys didn't, they delivered. They turned up and they just said, you know what, we have to make up for what. Basically, just said that we have to make up for what happened in the Champions League, and show Porto what they're going to be looking forward to when they come for the second leg. Again, it was the same lineup, a similar lineup again, but the only difference was Jorginho started instead of Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz came off the bench actually, incidentally. Um, and yeah, like I said, it was a dominating display from the team. Very, very happy with it. Very, very, um, yeah, good individual performances as well. Saka and Martinelli were good. Kai came off the bench and done well. Um, the defense again, solid again. We've got the best defense in the league, which I think is brilliant. Our set pieces are brilliant. We've really improved on set pieces, which I like because it just reminds me of Arsenal from the old days, from back in the mid '90s, early to mid '90s with Tony Adams and Steve Bold and Winterburn and Dixon. It just reminds me of the set pieces that they always used to do back in the day, because them boys were very, very good at it, and it's good to see that we're doing well in set pieces as well. Considering the last 10 years we've always struggled set piece wise and defence wise, but now we're showing that we've got a good defence now. Gabriel and Saliba really are solid. They really are a good partnership to have in the team. So it's always good to know that it's always great to know that you've got a good back four um, within the team, and these two are exceptional right now. Very, very exceptional, just excellent, very consistent as well. And long may it continue as far as I'm concerned. They came out and they had to, like I said, the whole key was the response against the game against Porto, because it was a dry game, and us as Arsenal fans, it was like, oh, we're gonna go back to how we were again. Is it gonna be? Is this how it's gonna be? But the response was brilliant. So the key word in this episode for me is response, and they just delivered. So I'm really proud of the boys in that aspect. Um, Done very well. Uh, man, of the can I pick a man of the match in this game? Um, Man of the match. I mean, I'd say Saka again. Declan Rice had a good game. Jorginho was good. Um, I can't really pick a man of the match, so I'm not going to. Um, but I know Jorginho stands out for me. He was really good. He was really good on Saturday. Um, so what does that? Where does that leave us? So we're going to scroll down. Scroll down, scroll down. I'm going to go down to the league table right now. This was the other key thing as well in regards to this game, because first leg, whilst we were playing the first leg against Porto was being played, I do believe Liverpool was Liverpool playing? One of them was playing. I think Liverpool was playing in the league. They were playing against Luton, and they went 1-0 down. And I thought, yeah, Luton ain't gonna hold. I just thought to myself, yeah, I just thought to myself, let's be real. Luton ain't gonna hold on to this. Liverpool just too strong. And it got to 1-1. I thought, okay, let's see if Luton can respond. No, Liverpool scored again. Two quick fire goals, and then I thought the game ended 2-1. It ended up being a 4-1 as well. So yeah, Liverpool won there, and then we move fast forward to Saturday itself. Man City won against Bournemouth, and then if we go earlier on this time last week, Man City played Brentford and won that, and Arsenal hadn't played. So it was a case of we had to respond big time in this regard. So it's good that they responded, especially if we had lost or if we drew, then yeah, we would have lost ground on Liverpool and City. But the fact that we're still there, we're still in the coattails. That's good enough. We've won our last 6 games, and we've scored how many goals? Now I'm gonna get to the stat in a minute. In regards to what Arsenal have done, which is the first thing that any other team in the Premiership has done. It's not really too much of a stat, but when you consider how many goals and how clinical Arsenal have been in the last few games with scoring goals, it's one of those. It's something to really take note of what Arsenal actually do, what Arsenal are actually doing, especially when they're playing in this like 4-3-3 slash false nine formation. Um, with Trossard in the middle. I mean, you could put Trossard there or even Kai Havertz there, and it's a very, very effective formation which they're playing there. and long may it continue as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, looking at the table, we're still third. We literally are on the coattails of Man City, a point behind them, on 50, who are on 59 points, and Liverpool on 60. But the important thing is that the goal difference, with what Arsenal have done, the goal difference has actually given us an advantage in an aspect, because we actually have a better goal difference than Man City and Liverpool now. We have a goal difference of plus 39. Liverpool have a goal difference of plus 38, and Man City have a goal difference of plus 33. Arsenal scored 62 goals and we've conceded 23 goals. Liverpool scored 63 themselves and conceded 25. Man City have scored 59 and conceded 26. So between the three of them, Man City are the ones who are looking a bit, defense-wise, they're looking not as good. But it's 3 goals, but it's 3 goals. It's a 3 goal difference between all three teams. So it's not really much of a thing, and it's probably the same thing in regards to the goals scored as well. I mean, it's only 4 goals between the three of them in terms of goals scored as well. So between all three teams, they're near enough on tail with each other. They're all neck and neck basically. So the running. I mean, we've still got 12 games to go, so it's going to be an interesting run in. So we'll see how that applies now. Let me just mention a quick stat as well. The inside factor which I've seen was that Arsenal have scored 2+ goals in the last 7 halves of football. They're the first team to do that. So just imagine that 7 45-minute halves, they scored more than 2 goals in each half, and no other team has apparently done that. I just thought, wow, I had to think about that and thought, hold on a minute. I'm sure other teams have done it. Surely Man United have done it, but apparently Man United haven't done it. And you would think that certain teams like that would have done it when you consider, was it Liverpool that scored 100 goals and Man City scored 100 goals, but in the league at one point. But yeah, none of them have done it. So it's not much of a stat, but it's just good to know that they're scoring goals, and they're clinical again, because during Christmas it was a case of they were struggling to get any sort of creativity going and any sort of goals going as well. So it's good to know that they're actually find the back of the net and they're being clinical, and they're showing urgency with it as well. So like I said, long may it continue. In terms of and even now we've got a bit of a rest this week. There's no cup games. There's no Champions League. Our next game is against the team at the very bottom of the league, which is Sheffield United. Bramall Lane. Now, last time we played them, I do believe we won that game 5-0. That was back in December that we played them. But this time it's at Bramall Lane. Now I'm not gonna take. Again, I don't take anything for granted when it comes to Premiership. Yes, Sheffield United bottom. Yes, they're not doing very well. Yes, they're struggling. Yes, they suck. Even their fans are saying it. I mean, fans of Sheffield United and Burnley are both saying just put us out of our misery and just get back down to the Championship straight away. But this is the type of game where you don't take teams for granted, because it is at Bramall Lane. Their fans are rowdy, and they're going to try and make it as uncomfortable as they can for us. So the important thing in this game is to get an early goal again, just to silence the crowd, and then from there, I believe, we should go on to win the game. We're more than capable of going to win. I do expect us to win, but I don't expect it to be like a cakewalk. Like I said, Sheffield United are going to make it as uncomfortable as they can for us with what they've done. I watched them against Wolves on Sunday, and yeah, they did okay. Whilst they did have a game plan themselves where they just sat back and just went on the counter attack, they they did look at they don't look really too much of a threat. I mean, yeah, they're just they're just not really at the races. I think like I said, I think they're just waiting to be put out of their misery and just to be relegated. Um, so I think we're more than capable of getting a win there. So we'll see because obviously Liverpool, Man City, I believe they're both playing before us. Our game is actually next Monday. So we have to watch over the weekend, watch Man City and Liverpool play. Hopefully they drop points. We'll see how it goes. Um, and then we can go to the Monday game, and hopefully this time next week I can be sitting there saying, yes, Arsenal are still there. We had a convincing win against Sheffield United, so fingers crossed. Um, that being said, in regards to part one of away days, we do have one more game just before we play Porto. We got Brentford at home after Sheffield United, and then we play Porto at home in the second leg of the Champions League on the 12th of March. So a good couple of weeks until that game. So we'll see. Again, we'll see how that goes. Sunday coming and then the following Saturday against Brentford. So that, yeah, let's carry on being so with what the team's going on. Let's continue being consistent. Let's continue being clinical, and let's keep the pressure on the top two. No one expects us to win the league, which at the end of the day, the expectancy of having less pressure is there. The only other thing that I have an issue with, well not issue, but I saw something last week. I think it was on Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV's Instagram page. There was a Chelsea fan on his page saying that if Arsenal don't win the league, then the inquest has to start on Mikel Arteta being manager. Now, when I hear fans from other teams saying things about Arsenal, I really do start thinking to myself, like, how are you going to sit there as a fan of your team, going about Arsenal, knowing what your team is going through right now? You're a Chelsea fan. Now, I'm not going to berate on anything in regards to achievements or anything like that, but let's look at the logic. You're going about the inquest of Mikel Arteta being manager if Arsenal don't win the league. Chelsea Football Club has spent £1 billion on players and and they are where they are. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but this is a team which for the past 25 years has been itching to leave or been looking to improve Stamford Bridge and they've not done it. Considering that Stamford Bridge is it is a dog track, and I remember Chelsea's old training ground was down in Hounslow. It was right near Heathrow Airport. You've done all of that, yet you're going to sit there and say there should be an inquest on Mikel Arteta if Arsenal don't win the league. Let's talk. Let's not talk. Okay, it's all well and good that you want, as a fan, you want to talk about other teams and say how other teams are going on, but let's not take away. Let's not stand on ceremony and let's just look at how your team's going on for a second in regards to Chelsea. You spent £1 billion on players. It's not like you put that money aside to say let's put £1 billion towards a stadium. Let's relocate. Let's find a place where Kensington and Chelsea can say, okay, can you build here or propose something to your council? You've not done that. You've wanted to improve Stamford Bridge, you can't do it, or whether you're looking to do it or not. Okay, but don't sit there and start parading other teams about other teams and their managements and their personnel when your team's not doing it yourself, especially with what happened against Liverpool over the weekend, um, when you lost to a bunch of kids in the cup. And now because of that, because let's face it, Liverpool are going to get in the Champions League next season. Because of that, you have now got Liverpool's place because I think the winners of the Carabao Cup go into Europe. But because Liverpool are already in the Champions League spot, the runners-up, I believe, get that. So I think the runners-up get that spot. So if that's the case, then that means Chelsea get into Europe on a technicality of being runners-up because Liverpool are going to be in the Champions League. So they're going to take Liverpool's spot in the Europa League. So you're back in Europe already. If that's how it is, then you're back in Europe on a technicality, and it doesn't matter where you finish. If that's the case, I'm not sure if that's changed. I don't know what the situation is with European places now and everything now when it comes to cup competitions. But if that's the case, then you know. But I'm not gonna delve into too much in regards to other clubs because there's been a thing going around the last couple of days where I've seen um, people asking who's the biggest team in London. I don't think anyone here. I don't even think it's even a debate personally, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna delve into it in regards to saying what I think. I think we all know who that is, but again, I'm not gonna go into it. But anyway, I'm not gonna rant no more. You know, Chelsea's doing what they're doing. That's their business. We've got our thing going. They've got their thing going. Tottenham have got their thing going. Liverpool, Man City, everyone's doing their own thing. So let's just. I'm not gonna go on about it anymore. But anyway, um, that's my 2 cents, guys. Um, Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in as well on the YouTube channel. Yeah, do keep up to date with me on my podcast. If you're on Podbean, just look for me on there. There is a link on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, sorry, is Dino Comment Away Days. So yeah, do keep a lookout for me on there. You'll see me just put up a whole bunch of short videos on there, and my predictions from other games. Some funny shorts as well, which I've been put up the last few days. Um, as well as all of sort of a few of my episodes in regards to away days as well, and my 2 cents. My next episode is actually going to be an away days one, where it's going to be involving things that happened over the weekend with football. Brief conversation in regards to the Six Nations, the cricket that's happening, and I'm quickly going to go through the results from the Six Nations story, and also for all the wrestling fans out there as well, I'm going to mention the Elimination Chamber, which happened over in Perth, Australia. Just going to quickly mention all the results that happened from the matchups on that pay per view as well. So for all you wrestling fans as well, if you haven't seen it, yeah, do try and check it out. It was actually it was an okay pay per view. It wasn't okay compared to others, but yeah, for what they did, it was okay. But I'll mention that in my next episode. So I hope to catch you guys in the next one. But this has been my 2 cents on Arsenal. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.